in their seats here at the Oracle Arena as the Golden State Warriors look to grab a win in front of the home crowd here. A look now at the starting lineups brought to you by State Farm. And guys, what do you think we'll be seeing from Stephen Curry in this one?
Well, Curry is a constant threat offensively, Kevin. As soon as he crosses half court, you have to pick him up. He's got unlimited range, but also the shiftiness on the dribble, the ability to create space, get into the paint, and either hit a little floater or find a teammate for a jump shot.
Well, one of the best shooters in the game, Steve, no question about that. The passing ability is there too, but it's his honey sweet stroke that really is his best quality.
Last game for the Warriors, they pick up the W against the Cavaliers in Cleveland.
And Kevin, the starters didn't have too much pressure on them in that game because of how effective the bench guys were.
And another thing getting all those quality minutes from the reserves did was keep their starting five fresh for the second half.
And Vince Carter picks up a foul. That is his first foul of the game.
Yeah, that was kind of clumsy looking. He was not going to get away with that.
He climbed all over him like he was on the ladder. I mean, that's an easy over-the-back call there.
On defense, Dallas, fresh from a win against Portland.
And, you know, when you shoot and score like they did in that one, Kevin, it covers up a lot of mistakes that you make in other areas.
And early on, Steve, they got hot as a team, and it pretty much lasted the duration of the game.
Now here is Carter following the shot by Jarrett Jack. And it's Carter missing. Here's Curry. He's coming off the 19-point.
Ridiculous. Tore it down that time. Guys, I'm going to need just a second to get myself together here.
Leaves you speechless, doesn't it, Clark? Huh? Wow.
Man, I don't blame you, Clark. That dunk was unbelievable.
The Warriors shooting their first free throw of the night here.
And they're right around 74% as a team from the free throw line to this point of the season.
And guys, you know what? That's made things hard for them in a lot of their games. I mean, that inability to convert their chances at the free throw line.
You know, there have been rumblings, guys, that the Warriors are looking at a return to San Francisco and maybe building a new stadium across the bay. But we'll see how that goes. That's a very difficult thing to do these days, to secure the finances necessary and the permits through the city. So we'll see what ends up happening. But either way, we know the Warriors will remain extremely popular in the Bay Area.
And here is Landry after the three-pointer from Memo Okur.
Boy, for my taste, he's far too inconsistent with that shot. I mean, he's got to make those if he's game to the next level.
And the Mavericks with possession here. Count the bucket. Nowitzki's got his first bucket of the game, and he's on the board for three. And I know they've been looking for a place to play in San Francisco. Got a chance to go play over where the Giants are. And they chose, Clark, their own spot down on Pier 3032. So in 2017, they will be in San Francisco.
That's right. Coming to the Bay, it's hard enough to find parking in San Francisco, much less a spot to put a stadium in.
And it's Carter penetrating. Teed for three. Barnes grabs the miss. Here in the first, just under 2.5 minutes played so far. Fires, high post, and Jack with the basket on the assist by Barnes. Jack's got his first 2 points of the night. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. And how is the West shaping up, guys? Well, let's take a moment here and check it out. Now that the mid-season grind is well underway. But look at the Mavericks. And, of course, there's the Warriors. They just haven't had the type of record they've wanted.
Well, I think for Golden State, they've not achieved any of even the most modest goals they've set for themselves so far.
Well, it's been a tough year, Clark, no question. There was a lot of talk for them before the season about proving the doubters wrong. But at this point, the doubters look right.
Now about 3 minutes gone in the first quarter. Doris Burke has some information for us. Doris?
Well, Kevin, Rick Carlisle and I got a chance to talk just for a bit. One player he mentioned he'd be eyeing is Harrison Barnes, saying, I know he's showing he can be a more versatile scorer than he was at North Carolina. With his strength, he can really hold his line to the rim. Still, we've got to play up on him and test his decision-making off the dribble. And Kevin, for a guy who wasn't asked to handle the ball a whole lot in college, that's probably a good call.
And thank you, Doris. And Jack kicks to Landry. Back to Jack. And Rudy Gay picks up the foul. That'll be his second foul of the game. And the Warriors with some changes. Andrew Bogut checked in for Azili. Beatrice comes in for Carl Landry. And George Hills subbed in for Steph Curry. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Jason Maxiel's checked in for Okur. Martin comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Andy Foy, he's checked in for Vince Carter. And it's Bogut in for Jeff Teague. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. And a quick look now at the best free throw shooting team. The Mavericks fourth.
And that's why this is an aggressive team, guys. I mean, they want to get to the rim because with that shooting percentage, why wouldn't you want to shoot free throws?
And some changes here for the Warriors. Rush comes in for Barnes. And it's Klay Thompson in for Jarrett Jack. And Dallas also making a switch. Dante Jones, he's checked in for Rudy Gay.
Seeing the Mavs in the playoffs is something that is almost a given at this point. I mean, they've made it each season since 2001.
Going back to Dallas, you do take for granted that somehow, some way, they'll find their way into the postseason, Steve. And but the results, obviously, were they just got in, but they couldn't do anything once they got there.
Well, I give Mark Cuban a ton of credit for what Clark talked about, just the longevity of their success. And a lot of that has to do with Dirk Nowitzki as well. But Cuban had a vision. He's put together an amazing franchise, and Dirk has been the superstar to build around. What a run it's been for Dallas.
The pass to Rush. Here's Bogut. Cannot hit. Great D that time from Martin. On the basket by Jones. Jones has got his second basket of the night. Warriors trail by 3. And here is Hill. He had 13 points in the win against the Cavaliers in Cleveland.
And, you know, the focus for Coach Mark Jackson has been transforming this Warriors team from an offense-first and last culture to a defensive-minded one. That's a challenge. That's been 90% of their focus in training camp and practices, creating a defined defensive system so players can hold each other accountable and be held accountable.
Here is Hill. The Mavericks making the shot. Rush gets the bucket.
Well, what's great about him, guys, is that even with the smallest amount of space, he can rise up and just bury the jump shot from long range.
And he's a great three-point shooter, too, especially when he lets it go from one of those corners. He doesn't miss many of those.
And the basket by Maxiel. The Warriors have gone 7 of 15 from the field at this point. Back to Bogut. Down goes the slam.
You know, the dunk was great, but I didn't care for that interior defense there, guys. It was non-existent.
You're right, Clark. You know, it was way too easy. I don't think the coach liked it either. Look at that face.
It doesn't get much easier than that. They have got to tighten up their defense. That was embarrassing.
Here's Ford. Oh, man. Oh, really shaking.
Well, that was a dynamic two-hand dunk there.
Right in the face of the defender.
That was a tough, gritty finish.
Group on the floor for the Mavericks. And this is his first trip to the line tonight.
You know, one thing about getting going at the free throw line like he has this season, it can continue to carry over.
Curry dishes to Jack. 17 seconds left in the first quarter of the game. And that one's good.
Boy, nice pick there, guys. I mean, gave him the space he needed for the hoop.
Foy, the pass to Nowitzki. Makes the lead pass. Three-pointer. Wallace misses. Plenty of offense in this closely contested first quarter of play. Coming up. And we got a close game here as we get back to the second quarter. And before we move on, what do you guys think about what we've seen so far from the Mavericks?
I was impressed with their transition game, guys. They really got out and ran the lanes.
Yeah, they did. I mean, no better way to get easy buckets than through fast breaks.
All fueled up and ready to go. Let's reset the lineups courtesy of Gatorade as the second quarter gets going. And Golden State looking at who they've got. We've got Bogut, George Hill out there with Steph Curry. Then there's Carl Landry, and it's Barnes, and at the 3, the small forward. Here's Bogut. Oh, the one-hand jam.
that one-handed spike right there.
Yeah, that's how it's done.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, he's not going to miss many of those. Harrison Barnes at 6'8", 220 pounds, comes in with good size at the small forward position. I thought it was disappointing that he didn't turn into more of a playmaker at North Carolina, more of a multi-dimensional offensive weapon, but he really became more of a jump shooter and a scorer as a Tar Heel.
And then Carter with the jam.
All business there, not messing around one bit. Flushed it right with one hand.
He never does, Clark. He never does.
Well, that's kind of his trademark, those slams like that one.
And the highlight reel replay. Brought to you by Sprite. Good stuff. Hill against Gay. Right side Curry. The feed to Bogut. All sorts of time. Good, and Curry gets the assist. That's now 8 points for Bogut. Going back to Harrison Barnes, you have that kind of impact. Many expected for him early. He'll have to continue to, Clark, round out his game. What do you think?
Yeah, I think he will, Kevin, because he's got size. He's a hard worker, serious about his game, wants to be good. He can shoot it. He's got to tighten up his ball handling. But if he does that, I think he's going to be fine.
Here's Bogut, and there are the Warriors now with another bucket.
Guys, he's really shot the ball well. It's definitely not his fault they find themselves trailing in this game.
Oh, he touched it while it was in the cylinder. That's offensive basket interference. Different look here for the Warriors. Vasili's checked in for Landry. Rush comes in for Barnes. Jarrett Jack is checked in for George Hill. And it's Charles Jenkins in for Steph Curry. And the Mavericks will go for a different look here. Memo Okur is checked in for Maxeel. Martin comes in for Wallace. Dante Jones, he's checked in for Rudy Gay. And it's Bobo in for Vince Carter. And the whistle blows is going to be on Ronnie Bobo. That's foul number 2 for him.
That's foul number 2, and I think he's got to be really careful not to pick up the third before the half.
The Warriors making a switch here. Thompson's checked in. Dirk Nowitzki, he's checked in for the Mavericks. Gay comes in for Dante Jones. Thompson misses.
Very tough when you have that good of a look. The defense caught a break there because he missed.
You know, guys, one of the reasons Dallas did not re-sign Tyson Chandler last year was they wanted to preserve some cap space. And they had Dwight Howard in mind, but Dallas has had to use their cap space elsewhere. But, you know, the key was just developing enough flexibility to give them a lot of different options. And I think that's always a factor for any NBA team.
Catching up on the changes for Dallas. Tracy McGrady's checked in for 4. And it's Teague in for Roddy Bobo. Okur. Shot is blocked. And they'll keep possession. Okur with the screen on Jack. McGrady with the ball. Now Jack defending. And the shot is good. Dallas, to me, Steve, always seems a team very mindful of upcoming free agents and cap space restrictions. One of the reasons why they made the moves last year. Even if, Clark, they don't get a big name, they always seem to be in the mix somewhere.
Well, they're always hovering around, and I think it points to the savvy of the front office there, Kevin. I mean, and that's really what allows teams to be competitive over long periods of time. It's not just about the players you have and their talent, but it's how you acquire players and piece together your team.
They're very forward-thinking, right?
Yeah. Well, they haven't been getting lit up from outside here. All the points they're giving up are from in close. They've got to offer more resistance.
Yeah, defense has to get better, Clark. They've got to body up, bump somebody, get physical, force the action back out to the perimeter.
Again, the miss by Jack. The Mavericks have gotten a little under 50% of their second quarter shots to find the mark. 4 of 9 all told. And it's McGrady that time on the assist by Teague. Teague's got his 5th assist in this one.
Now for Stephen Curry, let's take a look at some of his numbers. 2nd in steals, 16th in assists. And he's been locked in from behind the arc, guys. He's in the top 20 in the NBA in three-point field goal percentage.
And, Steve, I think the steals per game average that he sports is really an impressive stat. I mean, you think about coming up with the steals that he does and the way he does it with smarts and tenacity.
And that is good. And Dallas calls their first time out of the game. This is the second time they've matched up against Golden State.
And it says something about them that even when they're not at their best, and they definitely weren't in that game, they can still win comfortably.
Well, they were better than the box score might indicate. I mean, you don't win in the fashion they did without doing a lot of the little things there, Steve.
Carl Landry's checked in for the Warriors. Hill comes in for Steph Curry.
You know, one of the most interesting stat lines I've seen for Dirk Nowitzki is that he's just the third player in NBA history to record 1,000 blocks and 1,000 three-pointers in his career. You don't think of Dirk as a defender or shot blocker, but with that 7-foot frame, he's able to bother and sometimes even knock away some shots.
Wallace is checked in for Dallas. Now here is Hill, covered by Foy, and Randy Foy gets the whistle that time. That is his first foul of the game. 1:31 left to play in the first half. Here's Bogut, hangs in midair and converts on the double clutch layup. Bogut's got 8 points in the quarter. And for Nowitzki, if he's not the best power forward in the NBA, he's got to be right up there.
Yeah, he's in the class and in the discussion. I mean, you've got some young guys out there, Kevin Love and Blake Griffin, starting to enter that conversation. But for a guy you can build your team around offensively, you can't ask for much better than Dirk Nowitzki.
Took him no time at all on that one. Wallace has got 5 now. Warriors trail by 7. Jack with it, and it's Carter picking him up. The Warriors shooting their 4th and 5th shots at the foul line in the game.
And this year, they haven't quite been able to maintain the free throw percentage they had last season.
The first free throw is good. And the Warriors making a change here. Azili's checked in, and Dallas also making a switch. Okoro's checked in, and Jack drops them both.
Well, you love having him at the line, and he's certainly living up to that reputation tonight.
And Okoro slams it home.
Tell you what, he's not going to win any high jump competition, so it's a good thing he doesn't have to go too far to get to the rim.
I'm not sure he could, or any of us could slip a piece of paper under him when he takes off.
It doesn't matter much so, Kevin, because he's such a big man. I mean, if he gets positioned, forget about it.
Landry gets the bucket. Landry's got 6.
There was no question about it. He was going to finish that one off.
Howard's down the dunk.
Not stop. There's no way to stop that. I mean, there's nothing you can do when he's coming at him like that.
Well, that's right, Clark. Steve, he is a dangerous, dangerous player.
Yeah, especially when he gets to that launching pad right there in the lane. I mean, pretty one-handed finish.
Man, oh man, finishing with flavor.
Yeah, he put something extra on that one. You're right.
And the bench going wild, guys. They love it. What an amazing dunk.
Outside Hill. Here's Jack. Here's Azili. Uses both hands to slam it down.
You know, that kind of play will get you some brownie points with your coach, no doubt.
And with your fans, too, Clark, on a big dunk like that.
And even with the announcer.
Oh, yeah!
We all love it.
And we've reached halftime in this one.
And now, brought to you by Sprint.
I hope you're enjoying your Thursday. For the Grizzlies, they'll be up.
Welcome back to beautiful San Francisco, the Bay Area, and a view of the Bay Bridge. Look at Vince Carter in this game. I mean, he's been everywhere.
Yeah, he's done a great job of finding the soft spots in that defense. A very efficient game for him so far.
Yeah, and I like what he's done, Steve. I mean, he's made a couple of jumpers here or there, but what he's really done impressively is allow the game to come to him.
On the floor right now for the Mavericks, Rudy Gay is out there with Nowitzki. And there's Carter. And it's Mehmet Okur, and it's Teague in at the point.
Here we can see, Kevin, where the Warriors rank in the NBA right now. 4th in three-point field goal percentage, 5th in scoring. And they also show up as a top 5 rebounding team.
And what jumps out at me, Clark, is the three-point percentage that you talked about. This is a team that you have to defend all over the floor. It becomes such a task defensively when you have to cover out to the three-point line, because now it opens up passing and driving lanes inside.
Big mistake not having more defensive pressure on him out there.
Gay kicks to Okur. Back to Gay. Nowitzki. Some nice passing here by Dallas. Lets it fly. Okur, that's good. Okur's got 11 points. Warriors trail by 6.
Well, Dirk Nowitzki's going to walk away from his career with a number of distinctions. Best European player ever, best shooting 7-footer of all time. obviously one of the game's all-time great scorers. First ballot Hall of Famer. Not bad for a skinny kid out of West Germany.
Curry with the steal. Pass to Barnes. It's rebounded by T.
You know, he can be a little hesitant near the rim. We saw it there. Defense offers just a little bit of resistance. He doesn't take it up quite strong enough.
You talk about all that Dirk Nowitzki has achieved. When he was taken ninth back in 1998, who could have imagined how his career would develop? In fact, he was drafted by Milwaukee and then traded for Robert Tractor Trailer. Unbelievable.
Not many, Kevin, and as much as he opened the door even wider for European players, it's been his work ethic and dedication to the game that's really put him in a class by himself, and that really separates the vast majority of the great players, Kevin. Work ethic and dedication.
They continue to barrel their way inside, and when's the defense going to adjust?
Well, I'm asking the same question myself, partner. I mean, that's 8 points out of their last 10 coming inside.
Curry with it. Picked up by Teague. And the jam by Carl Anthony.
Now that's how you execute an alley-oop there, fellas.
And with an exclamation point, too, on the finish, throwing it down hard.
What a terrific play on both ends.
And it's Carter missing.
Even with that miss, they're shooting 75% coming out of the break.
Oh, get it! Oh, watch out now.
Nasty, nasty.
And that look right there on Clark says it all.
He's not alone, Kevin. Yeah, that was just mean right there.
And that was Sprite bringing you the close-up on that big-time play. Andrew Bogut checked in for the Warriors. And Dallas also making a switch. Foy's checked in. And Vince Carter picks up a foul. That's his fourth foul of the contest. Jason Maxiell's checked in for Dallas. Martin comes in for Dirk Nowitzki. Curry dishes to Bogut. Good, and Curry gets the assist. Curry's got 4 assists now tonight.
Kevin, that's exactly the kind of shot you want off the inbounds play.
Carter kicks to Martin. Puts up a 3. The Warriors pull it in. Barnes has got rebound number 5 here tonight. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. That'll be the latter half of this 2-game homestand. And here we go. The Mavericks on a fast break. Oh, and they get in the way of the alley-oop. Not to be. Good play defensively. It's rebounded by Dallas. Maxiell's got 3 rebounds now in this one. Gay drives in with the lead pass. Here's Foy. Dallas, no good that time either. Warriors trail by 4. Goes straight up. It's blocked. Gay against Curry. Here's Maxiell. He feeds it to Foy. Carter. Over Jack. And it's Carter missing. In the third quarter with just over 3.5 minutes off the clock. Here's Bogut. Good, and Curry gets the assist. 16 points for Bogut. Mavericks have gone 4 of 9 from the floor so far in the third. Here's Gay outside. Another miss by Gay. The Warriors have gone a solid 6 of 11 when shooting here in the third quarter. And that one's good, Barnes.
Well, the thing I think people admire about him is that he's able to drop the 3 ball seemingly effortlessly. It's almost like second nature to him.
Yeah, it's natural. It's certainly not something he thinks about. I love the stroke on the shot from long range, and you certainly know something about that from his fingertips to nylon. Smooth sailing.
Now let's take a look now. Jarrett Jack showing up in the league rankings. 14th in three-point field goal percentage, and one of the better passers in the league, in the top 20 in assists per game.
And you know, his three-point field goal percentage, Steve, is, I think, worth another quick mention here. I mean, the way he's been shooting it, that bucket looks a lot bigger than it really is.
That's a look that he'll never pass up, the one he'll usually never miss. Steph Curry, of course, the son of NBA sharpshooter Del Curry. I guess great shooting runs in the family because he's got a younger brother who can really shoot too over at Duke.
He kicks it to Carter. Looking to end the drought. Dunked hard with one hand.
Now we're cooking with gas, partner. My goodness.
A breathtaking display of aerial supremacy, no doubt.
It's almost unfair, guys. I mean, when you can get up that high, that's crazy.
He's talking about Seth Curry, who's at Duke, and Steph Curry, who's in the NBA with Golden Golden State still developing as a playmaker. But boy, you're not going to see many players who can shoot the ball better than him.
Agreed, Kevin, because he has a quick release and it's textbook form and he's got unlimited range.
And that's out of bounds. Golden State will retain possession. And let's see the leading three-point teams in the NBA. The Mavericks, number 1. The Warriors, 4th.
The shooting display with these two teams has been awesome. I mean, there are three-point shooters all over the floor.
Charles Jenkins, who's checked in for George Hill. Dallas also making some changes. Rudy Gay's checked in for Jones. And Tracy McGrady subbed in for Vince Carter.
Well, that makes 5 of their last 6 makes coming from inside.
They got really focused on getting the ball into the paint because they're taking advantage of very porous defense down there.
Yeah, he spent a little extra time on the rim there. It looked like he wanted to do a pull-up.
It looked like it checking his landing. I think Clark Mann, pretty big statement, too.
yeah, or so he'd have the refs believe.
Passes it to Barnes. And it's Randy Foye with the rebound.
Not his best quarter. I mean, the shots just haven't fallen for him. McGrady left side. Shot clock at 5. 11 feet away. Again, the Mavericks score. Here's Jack. The shot will not go. And at the close of the third quarter, still a close game, and both teams putting up points in a hurry. Mavericks lead by 2. And we're just moments away from the start of the fourth quarter. Stay with us. Hello, and thanks for joining us, folks. The fourth quarter of play should begin momentarily. Now, let's check in with Doris Burke for the Sprite Uncontainable Game. Doris?
Thanks, Kevin. And it's the Mavericks with the Uncontainable Game Award for the offensive stretch they put together. They have been in their thrills and bothering shots all game, and they've been able to maintain that level of intensity as their lead grows.
Doris, thanks. And I think we can all agree the whole flow to their game sort of gelled at that point. Don't you think, Steve?
Oh, yeah, absolutely, Kevin. Everything came together for them all at once. I mean, their shots started dropping one after another at one end, and then at the other end, they went into lockdown mode defensively.
Yeah, it was truly a good stretch for them, Steve. All they needed were a few things to kind of click into place, and then they were rolling on all cylinders.
They've got Jared Jack. Carl Landry is out there with Harrison Barnes. Then there's Stephen Curry. And it's Bogut in at the 5. That's the Warriors' 5. Dishes it to 4. And up the court come the Warriors on the break. Jacks are running. That's good. And the Warriors lead by 2. Game winding down, and they just keep changing leads.
Absolutely. I mean, 6 lead changes here so far.
Steve, exciting stuff.
Yeah, this is a fun game to watch. Which team can kind of extend a lead and make a couple of big plays here, try to seize momentum. We'll see.
He dishes it to Barnes. Puts it up.
At the line for your Warriors, Harrison Barnes.
He misses the free throw.
Guys, Mavericks coach Rick Carlisle is well respected as a strategist and an X's and O's guy. He's got tremendous command of the game. I was able to enjoy working with him when he was with the Pacers as the head coach. He's a guy night in and night out. He's going to put his team in the best position to win based on how he operates.
Carter, that's good. Carter's got 19 points.
Kevin, he's one of the best finishers we've got in this league. I mean, he rarely misses an opportunity to score inside when he has position.
Also, guys, think about it. Is there anybody more clutch than he is? I mean, he's won a lot of games for him by grabbing the reins and simply taking over down the stretch.
And going back to Rick Carlisle, I think he's one of the best coaches in the league. Offensively, his teams run great stuff. They execute. They pay close attention to details. And then defensively, he really juggles his lineups and his zone defenses. He mixes in a matchup zone. I think Rick Carlisle is one of the best in the business.
Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. And here's a look at what's coming up for the Golden State Warriors. Next matchup, they'll be home against the Suns. And that game is the second of 2 straight at home. Jack with it, and it's Carter picking him up. Curry kicks to Landry. Golden State moving it around. Carter against Jack. To the inside. Slams it on the run.
Just an unbelievable display of offense here today.
Well, it seems like every shot that goes up finds its way to the hoop. I mean, every player is sharp and on target.
Mavericks trailed by 3. Teague, the pass to Carter. And that's out of bounds. Dallas will retain possession. Let's see what the Dallas Mavericks have coming up. Following this game, they hit the road to challenge the Suns at U.S. Airways Center in Phoenix. That is game 3 of this 4-game trip. Nowitzki off a screen from Gay. Shoots off the screen, and it's Dallas with another.
That's going to be important for this team to fight over the top of screens defensively.
Yeah, you got to tag him and stay right close to him because with his touch, he doesn't need much space to get his shot off.
Solid advantage in the rebounding totals for them so far here.
You know, in every game, but particularly in a close game, every little advantage you can use helps, and they're certainly enjoying one on the glass here.
Nice putback. That's why you want guys working hard on the boards at both ends of the floor.
That's good from Okur. Just over 2.5 minutes played now here in the final quarter of regulation. Jack with it, and it's Carter picking him up. To the middle, lays out. It's stolen by Okur. And, oh, here we go. Carter's got it in the fast break chance. Now that's going to finish the break. Throw down with force.
And some instant offense coming for them after that steal.
Yeah, that's terrific, beautiful transition basketball. No chance at all for the defense to get back and set up.
Curry dishes to Jack. Curry kicks to Landry. The dish to Jack. To stop the run. Dirk Nowitzki with the rebound. Nowitzki's got his 4th rebound with that last one here tonight.
He just can't get a good feel for his shot at this point. That's one of the reasons they're losing.
My goodness, he sure can get off the ground.
One of the best in the business for sure. You're right.
Such an imposing finisher around the rim. Intimidating to the defense, really.
Let's go quickly over to Doris Burke for an update.
Yes, Kevin, I was able to listen in on what Mark Jackson was going over with his team. He warned his team to get back in transition defense, saying they're giving up way too many fast break buckets, and he wants an end to it. He said, hey, let's slow the tempo and make them take some tough shots. A sound defensive strategy, Kevin.
He makes 1 of 2 that time. Mavericks leading by 5. Carter drives in.
I can't imagine that we'll see one better than that tonight.
I'm with you on that, aren't you, Steve?
Oh, yeah, I'd be shocked if we saw something more entertaining than that one.
And the replay, of course, presented by Sprite. What a play. And a little over 3.5 minutes in the books so far here in the 4th. Curry with it. Picked up by Teague. Here's Barnes. No good. Now the Mavericks take it the other way.
They keep pounding them on the glass here in this one. Just a tremendous job rebounding the ball.
Well, that's half the battle. I mean, you go after it every single time. It's a mindset. You never assume the shot's going in. You've got to always assume the shot's going to come off the rim, and it's going to be yours.
Gay passes to Teague. Kicks it to Nowitzki. Back to Teague. He passes to Carter. That's good, and so Teague with the assist. Teague's got his 8th assist in the game. Here's Azili. Here's Landry. A strong effort on the rebound. Nets the second chance points.
And we see him get so many points that way because the effort is there constantly on the offensive glass.
It's stolen by Jack. And up the court come the Warriors on the break.
Call it hang time and bang time.
Unbelievable.
You got to just shake your head on that one.
Mavericks leading by 7. Nowitzki for 3. And Curry pulls it down. The Warriors have gone 6 of 12 from the field here in the 4th and even 50%. Right up. And Jack with the basket on the assist by Curry. Curry's got his 8th assist here tonight.
And saw just a little bit of daylight and went right to the rim.
No good from Okur. Warriors have gone 7 of 13 from the field here in the 4th.
Now they're on a hot streak now. They can't miss and really trying to cut into this lead.
Well, it's been a fantastic comeback effort, guys, and they've actually shot their way back into this one.
And the Mavericks call time here. They're up by 3. 1:03 left in the game. Andrew Bogut, he's checked in for the Warriors. The 3 from game, that's good. And the Mavericks lead by 6.
Finally getting into rhythm here in the game after that whole first half.
Here's Curry. And it's sent back by Nowitzki.
Oh, they're now +5 in the rebound category, really controlling the glass.
And rebounding is one of those non-glamorous stats. I mean, it takes work and effort and tenacity and physicality. But when you look at the scoreboard, you can see the correlation.
6 to shoot. Here's Carter. Out of bounds, Golden State takes possession. The Warriors have got a pretty good rhythm going offensively, shooting 8 of 15 for the quarter. Jack for 3. Connects. What a beautiful shot to bring him to within 3.
Oh, Nelly, listen to that.
That shot eliciting a roar from this gigantic crowd.
That was huge, guys. Absolutely huge. What a clutch shot there.
Really, the definition of clutch.
And they foul intentionally. They're going to have to do that now again and again. They're not in the penalty yet.
But you do what you have to do to extend this game and try to get the ball back.
In this situation, clock management is crucial.
They really executed well here offensively.
Well, it's going to take a major catastrophe, a colossal collapse, for them to not walk away with the win.
And Curry, here we go. It's rebounded by Dallas, and he commits the intentional foul. So the first one drops, and that puts them up by 5. So he goes 2 for 2 at the line, and it's a 6-point ball game.
Those free throws should put a cap on this one. Great job at the line.
Shoots the 3. Barnes can't get it to go. Curry with the steal. Off target. So we see the Mavericks get the win here. Both teams played well, but these guys had the edge.
Yeah, I think so. They were just steak knife sharp.